What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast. Another episode here with us. My name is Matt. My co-host is here with me.
Yeah, I'm here. This is Rod. We're back with another episode.
Yes, sir. So before we get into it, definitely want to say subscribe and like and interact with us. Just because we the point of this podcast, we want you guys to interact. We want to have new listeners and just kind of integrate everything with everything. So
And help us with new topics for sure.
yeah, new topics, things that y'all think might need to be discussed and stuff. You might want to hear us speak on. So
What you agree from the past episodes, what you disagree, maybe we can bring them back up and incorporate some of your comments.
yep, all those things. So, like I said, welcome back and thank you for listening once again. Yeah, so I guess we can go ahead and get into this first topic. So, I guess we kind of got like a big, kind of like a huge discussion block this week. So, we kind of wanted to talk about rap groups and rap labels and kind of things like that, and kind of discuss and see who's the best, who fell off, kind of the status of rap groups and rap labels right now. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, so the topic that we're going to get into, we're talking about rap groups and getting a bit more detailed about that and what are some of the best and the worst for sure. So I gotta ask you the question: what are some of the best hip hop and rap groups and labels that you can think of off the top of your head? Not just today, but just in general.
Oh, you talking about in general? Okay. Yeah, I mean, shit, we can go all the way back. We could talk about Run DMC, who made a huge impact, which we kind of spoke
Hmm.
about on another episode. We could talk about Wu Tang. We could talk about Tribe Called Quest, Outkast,
De La Soul,
De La Soul. We could talk about
NWA,
yep, UGK, and A Ball MJG, 36 Mafia. Like we could
Mobb
go
Deep,
all Mob Deep.
Salt
Yeah,
and Pepper,
oh man,
Fugees,
yep, yeah. We could.
Three
It's
Six.
Yep, 3-6. We could really go all day with this shit. So I mean, who were some of the best? I feel like that's up to interpretation. So to me,
And
I
these were really
mean,
like '90s, really artists and
mhm,
groups and stuff. I feel like hip hop groups were so much bigger back in the day instead of today. Like
yeah,
like in terms of grouping and like I feel like labels wanted to put people together. Well, why do you think that is? Because like the Beastie Boys and stuff like that, or like I feel like what was so big about becoming a group? Why didn't people wanna, or why wasn't labels looking for a single person instead? I don't know.
and I was gonna speak on that because I was like you said, like groups. Yeah, we have groups now, but I feel like groups are kind of in labels now. Now why were they? I don't know if the labels were putting groups together or if that was like their intent or whatever, but I don't really see the point because I feel like you got to spread the money two, three, four ways. So I don't understand why the label would do that.
Exactly.
um
And then when I look at like some of the, I'm just looking up who was the top selling rap group of all time. It was the Beastie Boys, and they sold over 20 million albums. When I look at like rap groups and stuff, and I'm just thinking about music and impact. I just can't imagine Beastie Boys being at the top in terms of like the Tribe Called Quest, Public Enemy, Bone Thugs,
yeah,
Outkast. Like,
now that's crazy, but I mean we could talk about also with Eminem is probably like the damn near the highest selling rap artist, single rap artist.
yeah,
And what's the similarity there? You know what I
yeah, they're
mean?
white. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's for sure.
And yeah, I ain't even want to speak on it like that, but I mean, I'm just calling it how I see it. But yeah, I don't know. That surprises me. I feel like Beastie Boys.
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of spoke about it a little bit. I don't really know a whole lot of Beastie Boys. When I was younger, I definitely was listening to a couple of them, but
I definitely don't know too many Beastie Boys records either. When I
hmm
like go back and like think about it, I guess it wasn't my time, so I guess that's fair for me for sure. But maybe like some of you guys in the comments can, maybe we're wrong about that, or if you guys have some big hits that you really love from the Beastie Boys. It's just interesting to me that I feel like a lot of rap groups and stuff they weren't getting the big deals and selling a lot of records and a lot of things we look at today like documentaries. When I look at the Wu Tang and
Yeah,
um
great documentary.
yeah, and like some of the past documentaries and stuff, they were trying so hard to actually get like a major deal and get like a bunch of money
Yeah,
and trying
yeah,
to get their own and like trying to own and try to record what they wanted to record. So it's just interesting to see that the Beastie Boys will out of everyone, it seems like they doing so amazing and so great in terms of funds and like you don't hear them like asking like about their money or like saying that they trying to get they're not well off today as someone like like some of the greats right now are really bad off. Yeah, they're just like real. I mean, like I guess the best word to really say is broke. Like that's how they kind of like explain themselves. Like they didn't really get too much money from back in the day, and then they didn't own their music, so the labels is just racking in the money over the years,
right,
even
right,
in
right.
today. So because like their music's definitely start selling with streaming and everything like that, and they're just not seeing none of that.
Right, and yes, that's the interesting thing. And I don't, they probably doing fine. I mean, we don't know just because we don't follow them on whatever, and we don't really. I haven't heard them speak in some years. Beastie Boys. But you was talking about De La Soul earlier. I remember De La Soul. I don't know if they actually got their masters back for 3 Feet High and Rising. Like they one of their most popular albums, and I want to say the label had 100% ownership in it for like the last couple of decades, and so. I don't know what the situation is with Beastie Boys, and see, I don't know if they
And
got their
peculiar about the
masters.
De La Soul thing, I did hear something a little while ago, and I think they only get 10% of the streaming revenue from their music.
Also, it's 10%. Okay.
Yeah, or something like that. I think one of their members has said that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
the explanation from them is it was pretty much like pennies, like that they see. Because because like it's a group, so it's split again and then like everything the number just keeps dwindling down the percentage for them.
Right. And that's when they was popping too. Like of course they some De La Soul, some legends, but
Yeah,
that but the,
exactly.
the early '90s, that's when that was their bread and butter, and they can't eat off that. Like that's messed up to me. So I don't know. So I guess kind of going back to your question, what are some of the best hip hop rap groups? I feel like we kind of just answered the question. Like it has to be Beastie Boys. If we gonna go out for sheer numbers, then if Beastie Boys sold the most, then they got to be.
I'm not gonna say that. That's kind of like saying Eminem's the best rapper. So
No, yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, but I was just saying, like in that way, yeah, then I guess they are technically the best, quote unquote.
in terms of
Um,
numbers, yeah, Beastie Boys is number one for sure. But personal,
we all know that numbers don't really dictate, what's the best and what's not best. So,
especially in our culture, because we're always getting uh the bottom of the shaft for the most part.
most definitely. So, I mean, I guess to me, like, I got a few different favorites. I can speak on definitely a tribe called Quest. That's probably like
Yep.
them and Outkast are probably my two favorites. Just I'll speak on Tribe first. Like a Tribe called Quest, they what they was able to do with the jazz samples and with Q-Tip producing and them both rapping like that really sparked the minds of somebody like a Jay Dilla, who's one of my favorite hip hop producers of all time. Like so just to bring that jazz sound and put drum beats around it and like that whole thing is just revolutionary to me. Like that was some of the first shit we ever heard like that. They was doing it in 90, 91. And
Hmm.
then with Outkast, like, I mean, it's I mean, come on. It's I can't even say enough about Outkast, just the impact that they made on hella people's lives. Like,
Coming from that Dungeon family lineage.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dungeon Family shit and just like how they was making their music. They were speaking for some Southern. They would just talk about some country shit, like Skew It on the Barbie. Like you
Hmm.
ain't gonna get no Skew It on the Barbie, even though Raekwon was on there. Like you're not gonna get no song like that with like a West Coast artist, a New York artist, and as somebody that I fuck with South shit, I gotta fuck with Outkast. So I would say for
Yeah.
me, that's probably the two best to me, just off the top of my head.
I would say, like, I guess, like, I feel like we're a little biased as well,
Yeah,
since
everybody is.
yeah, like, I feel like we're more from the South where we were, like, brought up in that area, like, a little bit. So, I feel like Southern artists are a little bit or Southern groups are a little bit more closer to home, and I gotta say well, I hold on, Tribe Called Quest is, New York, right?
No, that's New York. Yeah, that's New York.
So
Yeah.
I guess that yeah, I can't really say that.
For Outkast, yeah, that's why I say for Outkast because it just I identify with that Southern shit and UGK too. So, but go ahead and
Yeah.
speak on yours. My bad.
Like Tribe Called no, I mean, really, the ones that you said it'd be, like, my top, surprisingly, yeah, Tribe Called Quest, Outkast, um, 3 6 Mafia, definitely one of
For sure.
my favorite rap groups of all time, and, yeah, I'm just gonna name those few for right now, but there's so many, though.
It's so many. It's too many to choose from. Like we can even talk about Crisscross. We can even talk about um Dog Pound with Snoop and Snoop Corrupt Daz. Like it's so many different ones like that we could speak of. But
Yeah, I like Goody Mob, really.
oh yeah, Goody Mob. Like we could talk about Goody Mob. Like man. So it's just so many to choose from to even say like who's the best and who's the
Locks,
worst.
you saw what the Lost did
Oh,
in terms of Dipset.
my bad. I'm tripping. Yeah, the locks definitely. Okay, so I'm gonna say Tribe. I'm gonna say the locks, and I'm gonna say Outkast because the locks. But I feel like I got into the locks as an adult though. Like as I turned like probably 21, 22, I was listening to the locks heavy. So, but yeah, that's definitely one of my
The
favorites.
Locks definitely surprised a lot of people in that Versus, this year, or no, it was last year when they faced Dipset, because everyone was, like well, I ain't gonna say everyone, but I feel like most people, when they thought about it, the Dipset versus the Locks, they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, the Dipset is gonna take this for sure with Cameron and all his hits
Yeah,
and, Jim Jones just because of the impact." But I feel like it was more like the social media areas, like mostly that '90s era and like that '90s babies kind of thing. So that's kind of the music that we grew up on. But I feel like Locks was a little bit like a little bit early '90s, or if I'm wrong or right, I'm not sure.
yeah, they was out when like Biggie was still alive, and then the first album came out in '98, second album 2000, and I think they might have dropped one like a couple of years later. But then like if we talking about Dipset pretty much like in terms of hip hop groups around the 2000 to 2010 era, like they was definitely holding shit down.
Yeah, because when I saw the match, I was like, man, this is gonna be an upset. Like Dipset's about to go crazy. Like
See, nah,
I thought like 15-5 Dipset.
I never doubted the locks just because if you listen to We Are the Streets, that album, like it's just so much energy and just so many anthems on that bitch, and just even just like the Jadakiss freestyle, like Jadakiss is one of the greatest rappers of all time to me. So like anytime he get on the mic, like you can't underestimate him. Like to me,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but when I think about the Dipset anthem, I really
crazy.
mean it. Like the freestyles, like back in the day when they was in Rap City in the basement.
Oh my god, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, just like those were classic moments when
Yeah,
I think about like some of the hip hop moments. Joel Santana, like he had some real big hits. Um,
but then yeah, oh yeah, because that's the thing with verses, you can include solo records and shit like that. But
yeah,
if we
exactly.
talk about just on a group level, like of course Cameron got classics, Joel's got Jim Jones got classics,
Hey Ma.
But like as a collective, like if we talking about just them diplomatic immunity albums, which they had some great songs on there, but like if we talking about just Locks albums and just diplomatic immunity, I'm taking Locks all day, personally.
Yeah, Jim Jones became a lot better rapper now today than he was back then for me.
Most definitely. I mean, if we talk about We Fly High,
Yeah, no lie.
yeah, like from that before 2010, I think people was counting him out. But he came back. Like I don't know when that first album was it like 2015, 2016 when he had came back out?
Yeah, it was the album Capo.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that album was crazy. And then he just released the album too. It was the Gangsta Grillz, album.
Yeah, yep,
Yeah, we
sure
set the
did.
trends. That album is he brings in so many young artists and good songwriters and bringing them all in together. Like his ear for music is like one of the best like today for sure. He got like Icewear, Vezo, Dave East. Like who else he got on here?
Not Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah, definitely not Freddie Gibbs. We know about Freddie. They got
Yeah.
Pressa. They got Mano, Fabolous. That Fabolous record. Woo! Fabolous was spitting on that bitch. That Betty White.
Let's take a little detour right quick. I know, did you hear that conversation when people were saying Fabulous or Reason, the rapper Reason, who we're going to speak about later from TDE. Yeah, he has spoke about how Fabulous. Did you hear about that?
Nah. What'd he say?
Yeah, Reason, he has said that Fabulous is a better rapper than Andre 3000.
Fabolous is a better rapper than Andre 3000. Hmm.
Andre 3000. Did you hear? So you didn't hear when he said that?
No, I didn't hear that.
What's your first thoughts when you hear that though? Like, is it just, are you offended? Like,
I don't know if Reason really knows music. Like, I don't know. I don't really know why he would say that. Like that doesn't even make sense. Like when I first hear, I'm just like that just sound dumb. Like when I hear it's like, are you dumb? Like that's really my own favorite shit. Like it just are you
yeah.
dumb? Like I just don't. It just doesn't make like I don't. Why would he say that? Does he have like a certain? In what instance is he better? Like
So you don't see any way where that could be true.
there's no way in any sense that like I can see that being true. Like I just saw what was it? The what was Jadakiss versus Fabulous?
Yeah.
And like they were saying Fabulous was gonna kill Jadakiss. Jadakiss didn't even put like some of his top records to really, really like put like to kill him. But where if he wanted to, he could have.
Yeah, he didn't play all of them.
Yeah, like he I feel like Jadakiss really like took it easy on Fabulous when it was like that versus there. And if Jadakiss can do that to Fabulous, Jadakiss not doing that to Andre 3000.
But Andre 3000 has zero solo albums where he's just rapping. Does
So,
that matter? That don't matter to you? I feel like if we're gonna talk about who the best, then you gotta have something. You gotta have at least
but when
one.
you think about Outkast, who was the best rapper that most people really like from Outkast? Who they say was the better one? It was Andre 3000.
I don't know. I don't know that because Big Boy had hella
I
vert. Like
mean,
he
most
had.
people like Andre 3000. You can say that for like when it comes down to Outkast, people like Andre 3000 over Big Boy. And like when you like Big Boy just keeps like Big Boy's still been putting out albums, and I talked about that album with Big Boy, the Big Sleepover with him and Sleepy.
Hmm.
But every time Andre 3000 drops a verse, it goes crazy.
Right. I agree. I totally agree. But I don't want to just discount Big Boy and be like Andre was the best.
No, that's not discount Big Boy. I'm like, but when it talks about Andre 3000, the legend, like who more or less heard rather than seen, it's a bit different. Like
Right.
it's like I wouldn't compare Lil Wayne to Mano.
That's not the same thing.
Like I don't get it. It's like I just it just doesn't make sense to me.
That's not the same thing though.
Is it not?
Nah, cause we all. Well, I don't want to speak on Mano. 'Cause I ain't listen to his music, but that's not even a comparison. I can see
I
why
don't think
people
it's a
say that.
comparison with those two either.
I could see it though, like a little bit, just because Fabulous is a great rapper, like great, like one of the top tier Brooklyn rappers to me. If you go deep in his catalog, like the Soul tapes and Clue tapes.
Yeah, like Fabolous can rap for sure, but when you talk about into context and like what they're talking about and how deep and like the technicality of their music and how they're changing their flows and everything
Yeah.
and like mixing it up. Like that's not what I think when I think of Fabulous. Fabulous is one of those rappers who he pretty much keeps the same flow, but he has like those punchlines that really hit.
Yeah, he
Like
do
he
got
always talks
punchlines.
about like he's a punchline rapper. Like that's what he's really good at. But when it comes to like switching flows and having punchlines and mixing it, like
Right.
that's more or less like I think of Andre 3000, like just a completely different level of rapping.
Right,
That's
right,
why I
right.
put them at like two different categories because I just wouldn't compare them to.
Yeah, me either. I really don't understand where Reason even got this in the first place, like why he even chose to speak on it. But
What if he said like Nas versus Fabulous? Would that make more
um,
sense? Because Nas he never really differed like his flow necessarily, but like he's punchlines and like bars, bars, bars. I feel like that's kind of like when I think of Fabulous, it's like a lot of bars and punchlines and bars, 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 and like yeah, I feel like if he matches those two up, maybe I want to hear his point of view from that standpoint. But when you think of Andre 3000, Andre 3000 just he crossed over into like different type of genre. So it puts like a hard aspect to try to compare those two because he kind of went beyond hip hop.
yeah, yeah, I can see what you mean. Like he went behind beyond conventional hip hop, where it's just like you said, niggas rapping and kind of the same flows and punchlines. Like he went beyond that and really started speaking on some shit, switching the flow up,
Yeah, I guess he was
fast
like
rapping.
before Drake and like he started singing and rapping
Yeah,
and like he was doing that before Drake
he was. He was.
and doing that very high level, selling diamond. I don't know of Fabulous to sell diamond anything.
I don't know, but I mean, that's just one aspect of it. Do we care about how much they sold or who's the better rapper? Like,
I
you know?
mean, it's just in every category that you think of, though. I just don't. I can't think of one thing that I'd be like, oh yeah, Fabulous do it better. Like it's only I'm only talking about Fabulous when you compare him to Andre 3000 though. But if I was comparing Fabulous to like other another rapper, then it like Fabulous is definitely one of the top rappers and top spitters in the game for sure. But it's just like when you compare him to like certain people, like I wouldn't compare Fabulous versus Jay Z.
Why not?
Like why not?
Brooklyn. They both from Brooklyn. They both been rapping about the same time. Both got multiple albums.
Yeah, we all know why I wouldn't compare that. It just don't make sense. Like it's obvious in terms of their career and where the standing is and what everybody considers them in terms of hip hop, not just black culture, but like all over and just in general.
I say if people really want to solve this issue or solve this question, take the five best Andre 3000 verses and the five best Fabulous verses that you ever heard, and then compare those. And I bet you'll get your answer very quickly. You might get your answer after playing two of them. Cause Andre 3000, I'm trying to tell niggas like he's different.
Yeah, every time they like bring up Fabulous, they always talk about like his mixtape days and shit with Clue.
Yeah,
And it's just like you don't gotta look at mixtapes when you talk about 100,000 though. He did that on the album.
you can talk about the 16 verse. You can talk about the verse on Sorry. You can talk about the verse on
You don't gotta even go to this day. You can go back in the day. You can hear it.
yeah, no, you
You
can.
don't you can go back to Aquamini. Like it's very obvious. And it's a disrespectful comparison.
Disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. Like I don't even get like we'll talk about TDA in a second.
Yeah, we gonna get into that. We just had to take a quick detour. So let's keep speaking on rap groups and stuff like that. So we were kind of talking about how they're not really that prevalent right now. But as we were talking and I was kind of thinking about it, I'm thinking like, did rap labels
TDE looking
kind
shaky.
I don't know, but did rap labels kind of turn into rap groups? Because now we have rap labels with a bunch of artists. They might be on songs with each other, and which is not, that's not, rare or anything. But
Yeah.
did rap groups turn into rap labels? I don't know
I
how that
think that
transition.
actually is more accurate though. Like some of the best rap groups and well, not like rap labels today is like QC and YSL or CMG or Dreamville.
Hmm.
And more or less, when I think of YSL, they all have like a lot of them actually do have like a similar style of rapping and what they when their context and what they talk about. And they came out with the what was the album with them Slime Language?
Yep, slime language 1 and 2.
Yeah, and it's just like them together sounds really good. Like if there was a rap group, I'd be like, this is an amazing rap group for real. Like all of them together, I think it would be amazing. Like bouncing off each other because it's like their style is so similar.
But I feel like that's why it wouldn't work as a rap group because they all sound so similar. Like they obviously don't sound the same to a trained ear. Like if you listen to Young Thug for long enough, you can differentiate between him and Lil Baby and Gunna or whatever. But I feel like since they do have that similar style, it might not work as a group.
I mean, Lil Baby ain't on YSL, like, but
I know, yeah, that's true, that's
Gunna,
true.
like, like they have good chemistry when you think about Gunna and Young Thug. Every record that Young Thug and Gunna put out together, it's pretty much a hit when you think about it. Even on this new album, on Young Thug's album, that hot song, like it's magic every time they get on the track together.
Magic. That one song, what is it called? Love Me More from Punk, where Gunna was on there singing. Like that, he brought out like a whole different side of Gunna on that one. Like
Exactly.
that song was ridiculous. So, but you know what I want to speak on though? Like, so what do you think about that? Like about so if there is, say you got a rap group and everybody sound the same versus everybody sounding different, like what do you think is better? Like what would you want to hear more? Like do you want to hear different shit from everybody or everybody on the same vibe?
I feel like on a rap group or a rap label.
Like a group, because if we talking about like okay, maybe like okay, Bone Thugs and Harmony, a lot of them kind of sounded similar, but other than them, like nobody in Wu Tang sounded the same.
The
Nobody in
Locks, when you think of them, don't they sound a little bit similar to you? Or would you say they're not similar?
their accents, yes, but not the way they rap. Definitely not. Like they all have their distinct styles.
Yeah.
No pun intended. Um, yeah, I don't know. So I feel like it wouldn't be good if everybody sounded the same. So if YSL was a label, like I don't think I would like it if they grouped it as like, oh, we a rap group. I feel like all y'all doing the same similar thing. Like give me something, some other type of different type of shit, if that makes sense. So
Well, I guess when I think of like a Dreamville, like there's they got R&B singers like Ari, and then they got the rappers. You got J Cole, you got Jid or JID,
Earth Gang, all them.
Earth Gang. Like they all kind of have a different element to them. When I look at Dreamville, they're not all the same.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like so them as a rap group, I guess I can kind of feel that just because everybody would have their own individual thing. With YSL, I'm like, yeah, they different, but
But I guess I wouldn't like Dreamville together more as a collective as much.
you don't think so?
Nah,
Hmm.
like if you think about it, I mean, what's the closest to that? Fuji's,
Maybe,
maybe.
yeah.
Like when you got that like dominant, like real dominant singer who's just amazing, and then you got like an artist who's really good at rapping.
Hmm.
And like normally when you put like a rapper and an R&B singer, it's hit or miss, especially these days.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of a lost art. The rap R&B, the rap R&B song. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting way of looking at it. I guess obviously it wouldn't be everybody in Dreamville in the same group, but like maybe group like you said, Ari Lennox or you know, and then maybe two rappers with her. I don't know. It would be interesting to hear what that would sound like.
Yeah, and even if you look at the what is it, the Revenge of the Dreamer. Of course, they brought in a lot of artists that wasn't a part of Dreamville, and these records really were really good actually. But most of these were rappers, and Buddy came through on this project for sure. The artist Buddy,
Yeah.
and he made a lot of these the some of the best tracks on this whole project, and he's not even a part of the label.
Yeah.
And the energy he brought to that whole session was crazy. When if you go and look at some of the videos they put out regarding that when they did this album, and I think it was like 2019 or something like that. But yeah, Buddy was one of the biggest ones other than JID and stuff. And when I think of their label and stuff, you want your artist to be the highlight. So it's interesting that they when they came out with that, I remember they came out with the chart on Instagram. It was like they made like hundreds of tracks during that sessions and stuff like that. And Buddy's like on 3 or 4 of the tracks out of the whole project, and it's like a yeah, that's super weird.
It is. I mean, maybe they were just fucking with him that like in that time. Like
You
maybe he
you
just
just
cool with
know
all
who
of them.
was the better artist. Like that says something. If you have hundreds of records that you create at that time, and the records that you really put out was someone who's not on your label,
Maybe he was on a bunch of them though, because I know he. I remember I heard him say that he was jumping around from room to room a lot.
exactly. And that's the thing. Like you had another artist that was just jumping around, just killing shit, killing all your artists. Mm, you don't want that. Like that should be just somebody on your team or your camp doing that. I mean, that's a different conversation for sure. But
No, but that's a good point though. I never thought about it like that because he definitely was on there shining. I feel like he was, like you said, he was definitely one of the highlights on there. But the
he
interesting thing
was the
about
highlight.
him, I don't know. I got to go back and listen just to make sure. But from what I can remember, yeah. But what's interesting about him, I think he was signed to Pharrell like years and years ago, and like he never really popped until like 2017, 2018, and then he got on that Revenge of the Dreamers, and there it was.
I
So
mean, the first track I actually heard of Buddy was him and Nipsey Hussle.
from Victory Lap.
Nah, nah, it was before Victory Lap. He like Nipsey Hussle found Buddy because they're both from California. Like at a very young age, it was the track called Status Symbol, and like that track was on Nipsey Hussle's Mailbox Money
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
like 2014.
Hmm.
And that record is when I was like, man, who is this kid here? And it made me go and like try to look up some music and to see kind of like his progression from then and like what a guy like Nipsey Hussle can see and talent and stuff like that back then.
No, but I think he was signed to Pharrell before that though.
Yeah, I don't think he was signed. He wasn't signed to Nipsey Hussle or anything, but like yeah, he was signed by Pharrell.
Yeah, he was part of it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even know Pharrell had a label or anything. I wasn't even aware of that.
Or he was running. Does he? I don't know if he has a label, but he was definitely running with Pharrell. Like probably like 2010, 2011, around that time. But let's get back into the topics. We done got sidetracked. So let's speak on like you kind of had named a couple of those rap groups and labels today. So let's go back over that and just kind of talk about who is the best, like definitively, like who's holding the crown.
I want to talk a little bit about who we know like today's best rap groups are.
Okay.
And I mean, you can agree or disagree, or you can add on.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say, okay, so I already said Dreamville, YSL, TDE. You got QC. You got CMG with Yo Gotti in them. And then, am I missing anyone else? Like any other group that you can name off the top of your head of today?
Yeah. I would say definitely So Icy Boys, Gucci Mane.
Yeah, okay.
They got a few artists over there I really fuck with, like heavy.
Fujiano. He been rapping his ass off.
Yeah, I fuck with Fuji. I know Big Scar. I fuck with Enchanting. Of course, Pooh Shiesty. So I think they're doing pretty good as a label. They got 3 or 4 artists that I actually
Yeah. Big
listen to
30.
individually.
Big 30 been snapping.
I think Big 30 is with Moneybagg Yo's label, if
Oh,
I'm not
word?
mistaken. Yeah,
Mm.
yep. Yeah, so but they all tied in. So yeah, they
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
going
we
crazy.
can't even forget, Griselda.
Oh yeah, we wildin'. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Like, that's yeah, Griselda for sure.
Definitely got to throw Griselda in there. They just doing shit. They brought New York hip hop back, and I don't want to say it like that, but they definitely brought back like that raw
Oh,
feeling.
let's throw in, ASAP.
Why?
I mean, we're just bringing up top hip hop groups in the past years.
They okay in the past years, yeah. Okay, we could talk about ASAP Mob, but right now they not really relevant. No disrespect to them, but
They still coming out with music. ASAP 12, he just came out with his album, like, last year.
yeah, he was always one of the doper ones. 12. Um, yeah, so I think that might be about it. I think we said TDE
You
already.
think they what? They should just change their name to drop the ASAP and just just come up with something else? Or, like, the people in their
Nah,
group, or they should what do you think about ASAP?
I just think that it's. I'm not gonna say it's over for them, but I'm just. They just not relevant at this point in time. Like ASAP Rocky is off doing some other shit, and of course after Yams passed away, like I feel like shit just kind of you know it wasn't the direction of the group didn't really go where I felt it was gonna go. They did drop like the Cozy Tapes too, which I really liked. But since then, like
Yeah, like, some of the people that was on ASAP Mob it was 12, it was Yan yeah, I mean, Yan was the brought it all together and saw the image of where it was going. They had Rocky, of course,
ASAP Ant, ASAP Ferg,
ASAP and ASAP Ferg. Then they had, Margella the Margella Man.
oh
You
Smokey
already know.
Margella.
He was the young kid for sure.
He was so hard. Like I feel like a lot of like the young New York rappers stole Smokey Margella style.
Absolutely.
Like, bro, he was going crazy back then. And he was so young. But I haven't really heard from him a lot lately. I thought he was gonna be bigger than what he is now, but he still got time. He young, so
Yeah, he young, so Imma still give him time. Shout out to Smokey for sure, like, I just wanna hear what's next from him.
yeah, man. Come on the
I
pod
feel
if you listening.
he gotta have some hits coming, man. Like,
For
just
sure. Yeah, he like I said, niggas. I ain't gonna say no names, but
I ain't gave up on him yet.
nah, I'm me either. I ain't gonna say no names, but niggas definitely took his whole shit. Um, but yeah, man, I think that might be about it, man. Like,
I guess we'll go ahead and name who we think is the best then. I guess we kinda been getting off topic, but
you want the top three?
top 3. Imma say top 2.
Okay, top two.
Let's
Okay,
do that
all right, that's bold. Go
because it's
ahead and
about, like we named off well, I named off about maybe 5 or 6 groups.
yeah. Yeah, so
So,
go ahead. Who's top two to you?
top 2 of today, I'm going to go with QC, mainly because Lil Baby.
Yeah,
Um, Migos, of course, they're always killing it with the Culture, albums. Even though the last couple 2 wasn't as good as the first one for me, and the rise of the City Girls and what they were able to do with them,
killed it.
like, I never expected that from City Girls at all.
Me either. And Yachty is over there. Big
Yachty,
Deuce.
in the beginning of his career for sure. Um, Not so much later on, but yeah, in the beginning of Yachty's career.
I like his music a lot more now, personally, and I liked it back then, but I feel like it's better.
Yeah, you were talking about the new project that he had. What was the thing with Michigan?
Oh yeah, when he had came to Michigan and kind of recruited a bunch of Michigan rappers called Michigan Boy Boat. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought it was interesting that Atlanta artists came up here and kind of like put a stamp in the city because I feel like a lot of people in the city probably look at Yachty in like a little bit of a different light now. So
Yeah, I feel like after that D to the A track with T Grizzly from back in the day, it definitely put a big shine on Detroit artists and realizing that we can rap with the best of them in terms of the industry and like having that type of appeal for sure.
yeah.
Like, cause yeah, like when T Grizzly was on the track with young Lil Yachty and just killing him on the track, Like it definitely put Sean in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean he held his own, but I feel like T Grizzly ate him up. No cap, but yeah, man. So yeah, QC. So you got QC number one.
All right, I got QC, and then I got hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard decision though, because I feel like
Number two is pretty hard.
yeah, and I feel like a lot of these artists they got one like huge artist, and then
Exactly.
everybody else is kind of like to the side.
I'm gonna say Griselda.
I knew you was gonna go there.
Yeah, there's a lot of artists on Griselda that's undeniable when you talk about the Conways, Benny the Butcher, West Side Gun, Boldy James. Um, I know they got the female artist on there.
Yeah, Armani Caesar.
Yep, they got her.
Yeah, she fired me.
Like, yeah, they got too many of like the top spitters right now. Right now, for me to not mention their name. Really, really, actually, I'm gonna change that. I ain't gonna put no order on it, like number one and two, but like, yeah, those are top two groups right now for me.
Okay, so QC and Griselda. Okay. Um, for me, I am gonna say, man, it's tough, man. Sometimes I like to rank shit, but other times I don't like to rank shit. And this is one of those times. But I will say, I'm gonna say YSL first, just because personally I listen to a lot of their artists' music. So I'm gonna say Y. Well, I ain't gonna say first, like you said. I'm a top two YSL, and then I'm gonna agree with you on Griselda too, just because, like you said, it's undeniable. Like Benny the Butcher, Bodie James, another
And
Detroit
and
native.
they're so consistent. That's another thing.
Yeah,
Like Conway, Benny, like Bodie, how many projects they put out in the past just couple of years has been way more than any of these other rap dudes that's at the top right now. And just great projects, like time and time again. I mean, to them, like every shit they put out is a classic. And I mean, we'll see with time, but yeah, I mean, it's sounding amazing.
now one person or one group I wish I could say is the top two. Ah man, I wish I could say TDE was still top two for me. But personally, I can't even put them up there. I can't put them up there right now just because one, I feel like they don't drop enough, which we spoke about. And then two, I mean
Hmm.
their biggest artist about to
And we're
leave.
talking about today, by the way. So
Yeah. Yep. And the last TDE project that dropped was 2021 of Isaiah Rashad, of course. Um,
they had a little Reason EP as well.
oh yeah, that the EP was straight, yeah, because Isaiah Rashad was on there, Wale was on there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple. Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. It was alright. It was good.
I liked it. I liked
Yeah, I
it for
liked
sure.
it. I like the songs. I mean, a couple of them. But it was an EP, so not much to really go from.
But then their biggest artist, TDE's biggest artist, is about to go to PG Lang. So it's like,
He already left.
no, I think he got one more album with them.
Oh, word. Okay.
I want to say, yeah. Don't
Yeah,
quote me
yeah,
on
yeah.
that,
I
but
guess he did put out that little speech or whatever that he posted in the website link. Say he's about to put out his last album with TDE, and he hasn't came out with the album in some years. So, and we
2017,
know SZA hasn't dropped anything in a while.
she coming though.
Yeah, so we say, like, so we hear, like,
Yeah.
I mean, they always see you coming. Um, Schoolboy Q,
Oh man, we ain't heard from him in some years.
nah, Schoolboy Q just didn't he just drop?
Nah, no. Last shit was fuck. I don't even know the name. I guess
Oh, it's Crash Talk, 2019.
yeah, yep, yep. Which I ain't going. I mean, it was cool.
I went to the concert in the Fox Theater in Michigan. It was a good concert, man.
You know who was with him, or was it just him?
It was Schoolboy Q, was Nav. It was Nav and Schoolboy Q. I ain't gonna lie, like they wasn't feeling Nav like that, like the crowd was. I mean, one I remember one girl in the crowd. She threw her her bra in upstage at Nav, which
Oh, that's
was
fire.
pretty funny. But
Oh, so she was feeling them.
yeah, she was feeling them. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you know Nav be liking them cokeheads. So
Oh, for sure.
and that's what his music be about in Adderall.
But
So
yeah, so let's speak about it though. So TDE's momentum, like, so do you feel like they lost momentum, or just why do you feel like they was heralded as, the top of the top?
I
You
mean, at
know,
the time, they were all dropping back to back to back to back, and we were just waiting for the
were
next
they?
album.
They never. I feel like they never dropped back to back to back.
I feel like when they were young and like back in the day, like when they're putting out their projects, it was kind of back to back to back to back. Like
Mm, you might be right.
it was more frequent than it is now. I mean, you had Schoolboy, you had Absol, Isaiah Rashad, Sizzle. Like they was all young artists at the time. That's putting out music and stuff like that, and like EPs and stuff. Like SZA had some EPs before she dropped her album.
Right.
Yeah, she had SZ and stuff
S
like
and
that.
Z, C
And
Scissor Run.
yeah, and then they had like some of the younger artists that came a little bit later was like Skywalker, Lance Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's his name. I don't know if I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they had more recently Zakari,
Yeah,
and
and then
then
Reason.
yeah, Reason, and then they just got this new person on. I think Ray Vaughn,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. The only thing I heard from him was a freestyle, like a radio freestyle.
yeah, he got a project out. It's
Oh,
out.
does he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Yes, I'm gonna have to check that.
It wasn't nothing that I really cared about though. But
So what happened? Let's speak on what happened. So you're saying that basically it was just the fact that they stopped dropping.
yeah, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like it's more or less the momentum behind them. I feel like with such a force like Kendrick Lamar and the quality like up to that standard, it was hard for the rest of their team to match it. And I feel like TD got such a name for being a top quality like rap group that they didn't want to drop anything that they didn't believe was a classic. They got too caught up in like being like a classic that they stopped dropping albums from some of their artists. Like I feel like the bar was just set a little bit too high with Kendrick Lamar there.
But let's speak on Kendrick. Like sometimes I listen to his music like these days, and I'm like, I'm really surprised that he even blew up and he is as big as he is now. Just because I feel like it's not for a lot of people. Like I feel like you gotta. A lot of people don't really. They might like the singles, but like like the full albums. Of course, there's some
There's
hip
a
hop
lot
heads
of
that love it.
singles though.
I mean, which ones? Like Poetic Justice and Swimming Pools.
Every album you can name off
All right,
singles.
yeah,
Like every single one if you wanna the entire album, Good Kid Mad City. Like that was like it's his whole projects. It's not just one song that you can just name off. That's the thing. Like and I feel like TD kind of messed up with the momentum. They wanted whole projects that just like fire. And not every artist can hold up to that standard, like a Kendrick Lamar or SZA or something like that.
yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, I feel like the last people that dropped, like Isaiah Rashad shit was fire, and other than that, like probably the last fire TDE project was probably Scissor's joint.
Yeah, it's like you got to kind of give artists, I feel like, room to grow and breathe and drop the projects and see what the people like get to like instead of so much in-house music. Cuz I know they're just like I don't know. When I think of like TDE and like the management there, I feel like they're just hoarding all the music for themselves. Like they just listen to this music all these years. Like you know how much good music they probably listen to, and they're just like, nah, that's not
Man,
it. Like
so much.
yeah, like so much fire. Like it's almost like I'm hating on them. Just like man, I would love to hear what you hearing.
Right.
Like like
Yeah.
when I think of like TDE like man, I'm just like man, y'all dropping the ball. Like I know why like Kendrick left, like in the sense, and Dave Free because it's just like y'all just didn't handle your artist properly. Like it just doesn't. You just didn't do what you needed to do, and I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more people leave TDE after Kendrick Lamar. Like, I can see SZA leaving.
That's the yeah how about it because we had spoke about before. Like SZA been talking shit, talking about they won't let me drop, like they hold my shit back. Like she been doing that on Twitter for years.
Yeah, I wonder how many albums she signed on for because I hope she didn't sign on to no 5 album kind of thing because that'd be the worst thing. Cause I mean they gonna have her for life.
For real. Because I want to say the first one was Control. Because I think Z was independent.
How long it takes them to drop anything? Like they sign a contract, they're there for life pretty much. It's not just a few years because it takes a few years to even get anything out of there.
Hmm. Yeah, so that's interesting. I do agree with you though. They definitely did lose their momentum. Um, I feel like what I feel like though, it could be yeah they stopped dropping as common, but I just also feel like music changed. Like, and they're West Coast artists, and music right now is very Southern inspired. You know, you got the hi hats,
I mean,
808s,
okay,
and
when you think about the West Coast artists, that's Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, Absol, and that's it, right? Am I wrong? I guess
J Rock.
Reason. Oh yeah. Ah man, I hate when I be forgetting about J Rock. We did not mention him. Yeah, 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 for sure. His latest project was really good,
Yeah,
and the
Redemption.
one
Yep, for
before that
sure.
as well.
Yeah, nine. I think it was 900 something 90. I don't
Yeah,
know, one of them. But yeah, he's really good. He was the first one to really come out and blow up out of
but
TDE.
the thing is, like TDE set the tone for what music was at the time, and the only reason it changed was because they stopped dropping. So if music changed, it's because they didn't drop, in my opinion.
Cause so you saying that they the people that kind of set the tone and like what this is what's hot, this is what's
Yeah,
not.
and like when what was it? Kendrick came out with that Control verse. That song that had where he just pretty much start naming all the top people in the game. Like really, Kendrick's the only one that seems like he can drop whenever he wants. Like everybody else seems like they gotta wait.
Hmm. I don't know. I would be interested to like be in them rooms and just kind of hear what's they plan, like what's they whole strategy with this shit. Just because it does seem interesting.
I've definitely heard of like times where the artists be talking about they want to release this album and they don't get to release it. And I've also heard about times where they've just scrapped albums that was turned in, like multiple albums. Like they'll turn something in, and they'll turn in another project, and they're just scrapping it. And they'd be like, nah, and it just be like, who on their team is like turning them down? Like who on their management is like the person that be like yes and no? I just like who has that much talent or that much eyesight, like foresight, to be like yeah or no? Like I can understand how that could be very frustrating for an artist, especially if you had so much success with your like original projects and stuff like that. It's like, who are you to tell me that this right here isn't it? You know?
Yeah. I mean, Kendrick been with TDE since like 2004, 2006. So he always been there. You know, J Rock always been there. So it's like they didn't really. I can see what you're saying with like SZA, because SZA was doing her thing beforehand.
Absol been talking about dropping music for years and leaving, and like every time Absol talk about leaving the whole team or whatever, it don't seem like anyone really cares. They'd be like, all right, bye Absol.
Which I don't. I feel like he the best in TDE, but that's another story.
Best in TDE and when?
In rap,
Best in TDE and rap.
he's the best rapper in TDE
When? When was this? Back in the day in 2014 or something?
forever.
Forever.
Yes, he's better than Kendrick Lamar.
What album? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about technically at rapping
Technically? Because he
and
used
in a
more
technical.
words? That's like saying Earl Sweatshirt can rap better than Kendrick.
Nah, I wouldn't say that. Earl Sweatshirt can rap though.
I wouldn't say Absol either, but you said that.
Absol can rap though.
No,
Like
that's the thing. I know Absol can rap.
better than Kendrick Lamar. I wish I had some examples to be like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's the
go
thing.
listen to
Like
this,
when
go
you
listen
talk
to that.
about examples, you don't have them because he don't got music out. So what are you talking about? Like look at his past albums. His old music is like you can look it up right now. Like what songs? Like even them songs together that they had together. I just don't know where you can come
Where
up
I'm
with
getting
that.
that from.
Yeah, like after all this Kendrick music that's been dropping over the years, what Ab Soul project or anything or song that you just pulling out that you're just like, oh, this guy raps better. Like I hate when people do that. It's just be like, oh, this guy raps better. This just be
He
like
does.
it. I don't understand like where that comes from. Is we like, what do you mean?
I'm gonna tell you why. Like from a technical sense, if you listen to both of their music, like over the
Technical is
years,
everything.
what do you mean by that?
Like when you start talking about technical and like someone being able to rap, you're talking about everything. Like every like you're talking about flows, words, how they put
The way
together,
he
like
put his bars,
everything.
yeah,
Like
all that.
you're talking about rapping and music, just like in general. That's
Right.
technical. Like you're talking about everything when you're talking about technical.
And Kendrick is better at him at a lot of different
And when you're
avenues. But if we
talking putting
talking about
songs together, I I mean you're not talking about that. I know you're not talking about that.
that's not what I'm talking. I'm telling you in a technical sense. Go back and listen. I'm telling like I'm gonna give you some examples
I'm a big
after we get
Ab
off of
Soul
here.
fan. That's why I'm like I'm trying to figure out what exactly that spurred you to make that comment. Like what song that you heard from Ab Soul,
A lot of them.
you, you person, like I've never heard you person, you
hmm
play an Ab Soul song ever. Ever. And you sitting up here saying Ab Soul is better than Kendrick Lamar?
He is.
What like
Go listen to
I
Do What
I
Thou Wilt. Go
I
listen
heard
to
it. Like what
go
song are you
listen to
talking about?
you not listening then. You
What
gotta listen.
no,
You ain't gotta
I
have no
heard it. I heard it. What are you talking about?
just cause you ain't like the song don't mean
No,
he
no,
wasn't
I'm not
rapping.
saying I did. I liked it. It's good. But what are you talking about? Like that dog was without Al Wilt was sounding like a Section 8 wannabe. Like,
He raps better.
oh man, that's crazy.
Control System. Go back to Control System.
Man,
That nigga
I
was
heard that.
rapping.
I heard it.
I did too. He was rapping. I'm not saying Kendrick trash, but I'm saying if we talking about
Man,
low key, am I doing what Reason? I'm doing what Reason did.
everybody always be like how someone better, man. But they don't got no proof behind it.
I
Like
told you what to listen to.
I hate it. Like it'd be like, what are you talking about? Like you could
I
like
just told you what to listen to.
man, I heard both of those albums and I disagree
Go back.
wholeheartedly.
Go back.
Man, I don't. I heard. I know every song on both of those albums, and I know for sure, like respectfully, for sure to Absol. But you just didn't drop a better project than Kendrick Lamar.
You talking? See, there you go. You talking about projects? I'm talking about rapping. Okay, so how about this? What's some of the best Kendrick Lamar verses that you ever heard? Like, what's some of the best ones? Control.
There's so many things you can go to. It just like that's not even a fair. Like I don't want to start naming off Kendrick Lamar. It's like what is some of the best verses that you heard from Absol?
A lot of them.
Here's my point. It's like what? So that don't make sense. It's like what? What do you mean a lot of them?
I'm gonna give you the names. See, that's the thing
That's
though.
the thing. I
Like,
need to hear it because not many people name Absol music at all.
right. See, the way I look at it though, like I feel like I can listen to some shit. Like I know I don't necessarily gotta like love it or I ain't gotta, you know what I'm saying, blah 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 blah. But I can tell like, okay, this nigga is rapping on like when he puts his shit together, he rapping on like a different type of like on a different level of shit. Like just how they put the shit together. Like a Lupe Fiasco, like you can hear like when the way he put his shit together, where it's just like, God damn, like he's actually doing some shit where it's out of this world. Like like it's really practice though. Like you know
And
what I
man, if you
mean? Like
saying that Eminem's the best rapper ever, is that what you
who
saying?
said that?
Is that what you saying? If I mean if you bring it up just like technicality and people rap better and stuff like that, or I feel like you should have a better opinion of Eminem then. If you just saying Absol's better than Kendrick Lamar, I mean you gotta say Eminem's the best rapper ever.
He might be. I don't like his music. I don't listen to him, but he
No,
might be.
exactly. Like you don't really listen to Absol like that either. So I mean, you just bringing up shit that people rap better. I mean, this got to be something.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you some examples. Though. I'm gonna give you some examples. We're gonna go back and forth later, but
I'm looking at his songs now on these albums. I'm like, to me, Control System was his best album in 2012.
okay, yeah, that was a good one.
2012. It's 2022. That was 10 years ago.
Do What Thou Wilt was good too, though. It was real good because I went back and listened to it last year.
This is the one that I said sounded like it was his Section 80.
Mm, possibly. I didn't get that, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I would have to go back and really.
There was even one song that was I'm pretty sure it was on this thing that was like Section 80ish. It was like Kendrick Lamar. It was like an interlude from Kendrick Lamar or something rapping. Kind of like how he had Absol rapping. Like
Let's see. Yeah, I don't remember which one exactly, but yeah, I don't know. That was the feeling. That the reason why I said that is just because when I listened back to um
and Do Without Wet was 2016 to keep it in context.
2016, yeah. So when I went back and listened to it last year, I really was like, God damn, like this nigga is like he on some different shit.
And like, yeah, he was one of my favorite rappers for sure at the time in 2016. But it was just like that's the thing with TDE again.
We ain't heard from him.
Where's the music? I know this guy's rapping since then, like 2016.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like
ain't no
this,
telling where the fuck he at.
you don't hear a single word from this guy, like at all. It's like, what is going on here?
Hmm.
And like, I compare him to Section 80 because that was back then at that time, the 2016 and 2012, like that era, like where TDE was at the top. Kendrick has like ascended past that level of rap when you talk about now in terms of today. Like back then, he was a great rapper. Today, he's a legend. So it's a different level of like respect in terms of music and hip hop and like rap and like what you're doing, like in terms of your craft. I'm not gonna compare a 2012 and 2016 Absol to Kendrick Lamar today because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Guess what? Ask Absol who better. See what he'll say.
Man, he'll tell you straight up Kendrick Lamar.
No, he won't.
Nah, like what songs is he using from 2016 to say he's better?
Well, neither of us know
Nah,
him, but I feel like he will say
man,
he's
he
better.
lying. He lying his ass off if he say that. I bet what he'll say is he's sad where his career went.
You think so?
I know so because he's still been talking about trying to drop some music.
You better stop bullshitting. But like I said, I'm gonna give you some examples. Let's go ahead and wrap this conversation up. So I guess we kind of on the same consensus where they did lose a little bit of momentum, whether it was not dropping, whether it was sounds changing. Also, just West Coast rap like changed. Like you got Roddy Rich now. You got YG came out. YG was doing his shit with Mustard, and like that was the West Coast sound for a minute. So
Even YG mimicked Kendrick Lamar. His best
he did.
album
He did. I mean, I'm not saying that Absol has a good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a Butterfly, but you know,
or Damn
or damn,
or his Untitled
nope,
or like it's or any of that.
because it's
So
good music. It's good music too. Versus, it's good rapping and it's good music at the same time though. Like they beat selection is totally different.
man, I just haven't heard new Absol, so that's the only reason why
You
I'm
haven't
talking
heard
like
new
this.
Kendrick.
That's the thing that like I haven't heard new Absol, so I'm waiting to hear new Absol. Like I
You
ain't going
haven't heard new
I ain't
Kendrick.
acting like I'm not trying to hear it. Like Absol, please drop some music.
Please.
TDE drop his music, please. Please drop Absol music. The world wants to hear it. Absol wants to hear it. Like let's drop some Absol music. We need a hashtag. Please drop Absol music.
Okay, but you saying the nigga that was talking about top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning is better than Absol?
That was a feature on his
No, I'm
cousin's
talking.
little cousin's record. Like he did not, and like Baby Keem like album. Like we're not gonna make that comparison.
No, I'm
Like
talking shit.
I'm not gonna put a feature on his little baby cousin's record as like what he's about to drop.
He went stupid on that Family Ties though. But yeah, man, let's wrap that up, man. So, best groups, I think Rod said QC and Griselda. I said YSL and Griselda. So that's kind of what we think. Let us know what you're thinking about that. Do you agree, disagree? Interact with us. Let us know, what you guys think about these topics and stuff like that. So let's get into this next segment. You want to go ahead and intro that?
Yeah, this next segment we're gonna have is love and hate. So we just chose a few albums randomly that we're gonna ask each other, a few, like just three, and see is do you love or hate? And we really want to get some engagement from you guys, and let us know if you love or hate these albums and some of the albums that you're loving and hating. Like maybe we could throw it into our next segment or the next time we do this game.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, so go ahead, subscribe. The Friends Podcast for sure.
And let me say this too. The game is called Love and Hate because there is no in between. You either love the shit or you hate it. We can't talk about but nah. You either love it or you hate it. So let's get into it. So first, let me bring up. Let me go back. Let me go down south right quick. So Moneybag Yo, A Gangster's Pain. So this dropped in 2021. So let me hear your thoughts on that. Do you love that one? Do you hate it?
Since this game is love and hate, that means we're not just talking about it, just a few singles off the album. We're talking about the entire project.
The whole thing.
Yeah. And this album here, I think it had like probably like 15, 16 songs. And I liked the few of them. Like, and most of them was pretty okay and stuff like that. Like the songs he had with the Pharrell and stuff like that on there. If I remember everything. Because this is a song that you chose for me. I'm just keeping it in context. Albums that you chose for me. So I didn't look these up prior.
Yeah.
Um, and like whether I still listen to the album and stuff like that, like I still listen to a few of the songs, like I did like, but since this is love and hate, and I gotta go with hate. It didn't the whole as terms of the whole project, it didn't resonate with me enough, so I'm going to go with hate.
But you was still bumping it like a little bit though. Like you probably got some songs.
Yeah, I'm still bumping some of the tracks. Like I like some of the like so
Yeah.
to the artist, like just not the whole project. So and that's what we're basing on the entire project.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Because I feel like it's not complete unless it's the whole thing, unless you can play that shit straight through,
Exactly. So
you know.
and so the next one I'm gonna go with, well, the first one actually, "Trust Fund Babies" by Lil Wayne and Rich the Kid.
Ah man, this is an easy one. This is really an easy one. I love Lil Wayne. Um, last week, just a little side note. Last week I was going back and listening to BG, and I had the opportunity to listen to like a 14. It might have been he might have been 12-year-old Lil Wayne, and he was rapping, and like it was just so interesting to hear where he came from and like where he is now. So go check out BG project from 1995 if you want to hear that. But Trust Fund Babies, I'm gonna have to say hate. But the only reason why is just because I feel like if it was my decision to put Lil Wayne on a tape with anybody, Rich the Kid would not be in the top 100 list. No disrespect to him, but he's just not. I never got into Rich the Kid like that. So I'm gonna have to say I hate this one.
And to be real, like the latest Lil Wayne and stuff like that, who I really want to see Lil Wayne with and work with,
Hmm.
is probably not what most people probably is asking for, but it's something that I'm asking for.
Okay.
Is Lil Wayne and Tyler the Creator. I don't want Tyler the Creator to rap at all. I just want him to produce the album and make the beats and do that and like make a little project with Lil Wayne. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Some of the past songs that they made together is like he bringing out some of the best verses that we hear in recent day for Lil Wayne.
Yep, Smuckers was crazy on one of Tyler's albums. I feel like he been on like the last 4 or 5 Tyler projects, and every verse that Wayne spits is like Stupid. So
Everyone is crazy. Like he just brings something out of him. Like, and I just want to hear an entire project created by Tyler Creator for Lil Wayne.
yeah, hot take. I feel like this version of Lil Wayne 2021 is the best version we ever heard. Like he's going stupid. Please go back and listen to all his features. There's a playlist on Spotify with all his features from 2021. Go back and listen. He's going stupid right now.
I know he just re-released "Sorry for the Wait" for one of his mixtapes.
Yep,
So
yep, for sure. So
it is good that he's going back and like re-releasing some of those mixtapes because he was the mixtape king, like from our era for sure.
yes, sir. Yeah. No ceilings, dedications,
Yeah,
fucking so many
him
different
other
ones.
than Young Jeezy.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got to put Jeezy up there and Gucci man. You got to put them up there. But the level they wasn't rapping the same though. But anyway, let me
Uh,
get.
I mean,
They wasn't rapping the same.
yeah, man,
Dedication.
man, man. We gotta say that one for another one, another
Okay,
topic.
yeah, okay, yeah. Good one. Good.
Young
We was
Jeezy
gonna get
versus
on
yeah,
another.
I don't know.
We was gonna get on another tangent for about 20 minutes. So, yeah, man. So let me get into the next one. Go ahead and wrap this joint up. Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof. How you feel about that one? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
This project right here, I'm gonna say I loved it. Like every track on there, like majority of the project I really liked and I really enjoyed. And this project was the one that he released with Hit Boy, and a lot of them beats and everything was just really good. Hit Boy's been on a tangent with like his producing and like the way the music sound and where he's been going. Like you've seen with Nas with Magic and King's Disease, and this was along those lines as well. Like in terms of producing, so the producing was there, the raps was there. Like Benny the Butcher is always repping at the top of his game. So yeah, I'm gonna say I love this project.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah, I feel the same way. Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna say I feel the same way. I feel like I liked other Benny the Butcher projects in entirety. This one, I can't say that. I feel like there was a few misses on here for me personally, just because me and Hit Boy, like me listening to his beats, sometimes I'm not fucking with him. But Benny is always gonna rap his ass off. That's par for the course. So
Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about some of the things that like I disliked about Benny recently, but we're just talking about this one. So
yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
one,
leave it
yeah,
there.
that one specifically, yeah. Okay,
This
I
project, yeah.
respect that.
I'm not gonna say every project Benny put out. Like some of the projects he put out with his team, BSF, I didn't like all of them so much. So I'm gonna leave the Black Soprano stuff, the mixtape.
One of them was fire to me. I can't remember which one, but it was kind of good to me.
Yeah. All right. So the next one I'm gonna bring up is "Certified Lover Boy" by Drake.
Man, I mean, off top, I'm just gonna have to say hate, just because I don't really. I probably listened to it once or twice, and I do have songs from it that I do play sometimes, but I'm not running back to it. Me personally, I don't even want to put like all my opinions out there this episode, but I feel like Drake ain't dropped a great album for 5 plus years.
Whoa, that's crazy.
A great album?
Yes, Scorpion was
Name
great.
one. Stop it. How? Okay. This is why, but I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't great. Because we need to start cutting out the fat, or artists need to start cutting out the fat on these albums. There was definitely too much filler on that album to me.
He dropped side A and side B. He had two sides to Scorpion.
It was filler on both of them. There's songs on there that I love and I still would play today, like happily. But as in its entirety,
I agree. He could have like condensed this into one album and made like a really amazing album.
exactly. So that's why I say like he ain't really made no cohesive like great project to me in like at least 5 years.
You lying.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead ass serious. I'm dead
That's your
ass
opinion, but
serious.
I don't agree. Drake's been killing that shit. Like this was the project that I feel like he dropped the ball on for sure. Like this project was just a huge fall off from some of his past projects. Unbelievable fall off. Like, I don't get it. Like I don't know how it happened. Like he don't even talk about this album like that.
Hmm.
Like when I see Drake and like normally he like go and like you see a bunch of videos and promo throughout the year. Like he dropped this and went quiet.
I
Like
mean,
even
look
the
at the
cover
cover.
art is just like
Right.
you wasn't serious, bro. This is a joke.
Yeah, this is a tied over album. He just trying to
Like, this is a joke. You trying to get out your label. Is that what you trying to do? Like, is
possibly.
that what
Let
you
me
trying
see
to do,
what
Drake, with
label.
this album? You like this album that got the label. This got the label album.
But it's on OVO.
It is.
Yes, OVO under exclusive license to Republic Records. So maybe he's trying to get off Republic. I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. And a lot of his shit, like I said, past 5 years hasn't been. I just want like a good project where I can play it all the way through.
Trash.
Certified Lover Boy.
Yep.
Damn. Yeah, I wouldn't say
Trash.
trash. There's some good songs on here to me. I really like Fair Trade. I really like TSU. Like, there's a few different joints on here. Yeah, but his
Man,
Heartbreak is
TSU
good.
has this interlude in the beginning. Cut the shit out. Like, just get right to the song. Like, I ain't trying to hear that interlude.
What's the? Oh yeah, he got like the little like the chopped and screwed thing going on in the intro. So, but yeah, that's I gotta say I gotta say I hate that one. So let's get into the next joint. So lastly, I want to say, Cochise Bimbo Crescent. How you feel about that one?
Cochise. Man, my guy right there. Woo. You know I'm feeling that album right there. That was probably one of the best albums, and low key might have been my one of my most played albums in Apple Music when I went back and I like listened and looked at the replay or whatever for 2021.
Yeah,
Like Coach Cheese dropped a really good project for me, and I, yeah, it was a lot going on there, but
yeah. I do like Cochise. I just feel like he just like I was listening to a Cardi song the other day, and I could see that Cochise was directly influenced straight from that song because it sounded just like all his shit sounds just like that song. So I do have to kind of like point that out. But
what do you say this song? What do you mean? What does that mean? This song?
okay, I'm gonna keep it real. So I was listening to Playboy Cardi back flatbed freestyle the other day, and then the whole time when I was listening to it, I'm like, damn, Coach, he's really took this and ran with it. Like he took that whole style and ran with that whole shit. Um, I don't know. That's how I felt when I was listening to it. So, but I do still like this album a lot. Now tell us, do you love it or do you hate it?
I love it. That's like that album was really good to me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Um,
The energy behind it and everything. Like,
yeah,
yeah, shout
yeah,
out shout out to Coach Cheese on that. And I
for
really want
sure,
to
for
see
sure.
what's next. I don't know if he dropped anything after this album, but I really did like this album.
Yeah, he dropped a couple singles that were pretty good. Tell 'em and Pocket Rocket. But yeah, a lot of songs on here is pretty good. I still play them to this day.
It's short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
And so this last album here, Harlan and Alondra by Buddy.
By Buddy. Okay. Finally, I have one where I can say I love it. So I definitely love this album, man. Came out in 2018. Man, this one, oh man, this is a really good album. One of those ones, like I said, you can play that bitch straight through. You ain't gonna have no problem. So definitely fuck with this one. I like the song with Snoop Dogg on there. The song with Ty Dolla $ign was good. Like everybody was good on this, and Buddy, I feel like Buddy is a pretty good writer too, and singer and rapper. So I
Yeah.
feel like he's definitely super like versatile.
So that sums up our love and hate segment. Let us guys know what you think, or woman, like, do you agree with what we're saying or disagree? Do you love and hate some of the albums? Subscribe to the channel. Let us know in the comments. And yeah, I guess we're going to head out to the outro and get our highlights going. So this episode, I want to highlight the show I've been watching on TV. It's very reminiscent of The Office. I know you're a big fan of The Office, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
So this show right here is called Abbott Elementary, and it's just real. It's a comedy sitcom show. It's on Hulu, and it has what was that? It was the black guy, and Everybody Hates Chris. He's on here. He's one of the main characters. I don't remember the black lady's name. I don't know the black actor, but
Cheryl
in
Lee
the
Ralph.
show, oh, okay, but she's Janine in the show.
Yep, yep, yep.
Really good. I like the principal. Like I know she a comedian. She's on stand up and Netflix. Like,
Yo,
man,
she's hilarious. Ava.
yeah, yeah, it's
Ava is the
fucking
funniest
hilarious.
character.
I actually really like the janitor as well. Like
Oh
there's
yeah,
slick
yeah.
slick comments out of nowhere, so it's trash.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like,
No, that's a really, really, really good show. Like everybody, please check that out, man. Support Quinta Brunson, man. She definitely doing big things out here, man. That's a great show, bro.
yeah, so it's like it's a show that kind of varies. Like the best way I can describe it for my listeners, if you really like The Office, go ahead and check it out.
Yeah, for sure. And I can see, like, I see what you mean. Like, it's kind of like The Office, like with how they do, like, they in between scenes, like when they do like the face to face camera thing.
Hmm.
But like to me, I don't. I can see, like I see what you're saying, but I also don't. Like I feel like it's also like a little bit different in The Office. So
Some people said it's similar to Parks and Recs.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah, have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I saw a few. I didn't watch all of it, but I can see the similarities to that too.
For sure, like the humor in it, yeah, it's definitely more Parks and Rec versus The Office. So definitely check that joint out, man. Let me go ahead and do my little highlight right quick. I'm gonna do some local shit once again. People that's in the Detroit area definitely want you guys to check out the Detroit Pepper Company. So it's like a black owned business. So it's this guy named Marlon Hughes, and he has a business where he has a restaurant, and it's kind of like a stuffed peppers, and you put rice in it, you put beans in it, or whatever you want. So go support him, man. Like definitely want to highlight a black business today,
Where is he at?
so it's in Detroit. I can't remember. It's on. I want to say like East Warren or something like that. So I think it's on the east side. So yeah, go pull up on him. Get you a pepper or two. Um,
Which pepper you get? Like what it got?
so like basically it's just like you can get like I think it's like the green one and like the yellow one and the red one. So it's like a huge pepper. Put some rice in there. You can put like other kind of grains and beans and other toppings and stuff like that. So
Ain't got no meat in there. Pause.
I think you can get meat. I didn't get meat. I got like the
It's like a vegetarian normally thing. Yeah.
yeah. I don't. I think they do have meat though, but don't quote me on that. I didn't check on that because I wasn't going to get that. But yeah, definitely go check that joint out. Even just go to the website, man. Detroit Pepper Company.
That's what's
Go
up.
see what's going on. My man's Marlon Hughes. So
What's his page?
so the website is the DetroitPepperCompany.com, and you can see everything you need to know over there. So
All right. And that concludes this episode here of the Friends Podcast. We really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Subscribe. The Friends Podcast, the page. We got our Instagram page going, the Friends Pod.
hmm
We got our YouTube channel. Go check that out. We'll put everything where you can subscribe at in the description. And thank you guys. We out. Peace and love.
peace.